Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are gonna learn a new CSS selector has, and we are gonna learn it by doing an example. So let's get started. Right now, in front of you, this is the design which we wanted to create, and this is a base template which I have already created, but there are few gaps, and the goal is that we need to fix those gaps by using the has selector. So let's get started. So the first gap you can see is the color difference between these two buttons. So the share button should have a different color as compared to the connect one. Simple. But before that, what we should do is we should inspect the code. I'm using Chrome and I'm using DevTools. So the structure of the whole HTML page is we have header, we have main, we have section. Within main, we are getting all these divs coming and we are using grid here. In this section where it is here, bottom one, we have container, we have two section classes, and within that we have the HTML tags coming. Fair enough. Now let's go back to our button and see what code we are using here. So I will inspect this button, and this is a button tag. We have the style here, okay, no classes. We have share button is also a button tag, no class, and inside this we have this icon. Fair, straightforward. So the solution you must be thinking is we can apply a CSS class here, and we can apply different color on this. However, we don't want to use a different class. The reason is the lot of time you get these kind of restrictions when you are working on a external third-party design system, or you are working at a project where you have limited access of your DOM. So how we are going to solve this issue without using any CSS class? This is where the has is going to help us. What we are going to do is we are going to say that if the button has icon class, then the color should be different. And this is exactly what we are going to write in our code. So let's go back to our code. This is our style. I will go to the button. Yeah, here is my button. And what I said, exactly like that, I'm going to write the code. That button, if it has icon class, then the color should be different. How we are going to write it? So I'm going to write button, and here I'm going to use the has selector. So I will use colon has rounded bracket. Why colon? Because this is pseudo class, and within this rounded brackets we can pass the list of arguments. It could be class name, it could be ID, CSS selector, HTML tags, whatever you want to set pass. And here what we are going to do is we are going to say icon class, and what we are going to do is we are going to write our background color. So what is happening here? Has selector is going to check for icon on button tag. If it is there, then it is going to apply this color, otherwise it will not. So let's go back to our code, and you can see that the color got changed. And if we are going to select this button, you can see the selector is coming. And now if I will remove this class, let's go here, and for this one only I will remove this class. Okay, I don't even need this I because we were using an icon here, and you can see that particular styling has been removed. Let me undo this and go back to. So this is how you use the has selector for the condition base, that if you have this class, implement it, otherwise not. A very powerful, and I would say that in your day-to-day work you will face these kind of situation where you cannot pass classes ID, or you don't have the access of DOM. This is where has is gonna help you. Okay, let's move to the next problem. So in the next problem, what we are gonna do is we are gonna sort this spacing issue. Now what is the spacing issue? Let's go back to our HTML, but before that, just look, the space between who are we and a bunch of curious monkey is different as compared to reach to us and this running text. Similarly, a bunch of curious monkeys and space between the margin between a bunch of curious monkeys and the running text is different. Okay, let's go back to the code and let's see that what HTML structure we are using here. So we have section content, we have h2, we have h4, we have p. Fine. Here also we have content, same class. You can see same class. We have H2, we have P, no class names, no ID, nothing. Same situation. But how we are gonna do it? Because there is no class name. How we are gonna fix this particular problem? You might be started thinking about that. What I can do is, what we can do, we can provide H4 margin top, margin bottom, and that's it. And in the P we can provide margin top, but these all things are not gonna work. Let me show you. So what I'm gonna do is, this is your H4, right? So first let me write it here. This is your section content, and what one of the solution you must be thinking is, we can have margin 10px, and let's suppose margin top bottom 10px. But if you will see what we are gonna do it here, so you will say, okay, what we can do is, we can do a margin top here, let's assume 5px. But the same problem, if you will see, the spacing between a bunch of and this running text is different as compared to this. So how we are gonna solve this? We are gonna use has here. And how has is gonna help us? What we are gonna do is, we are gonna say that if there is H4, then the H2 spacing and the P spacing should be different. Otherwise, it will be the global one. Let's go back to the code and let's try to fix this. So what we are gonna do is, we are saying content, if it has H4, then the margin bottom should be of H2 should be 10px. Let's go back and you will see the spacing between who are we and bunch of curious is now 10px. However, here it is not. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use this one, and I will say, because for H2, for rest of the, instead of 10, we are gonna have margin 5px, let's assume. And you can see the spacing 5px is coming here. Now you can select this H2 which is coming with H4. You can see this is the has selector is coming here, and if you will go to reach to us, you can see no selector is coming there. Okay, now we are gonna fix this P problem also. So what we want is same, content has H4, then the P margin top should be 5px, let's assume. Let's go back and you will see that the 5px is coming here. Okay, but it is not coming here. So this is how you solve these kind of problems by using the has selector. Again, a very common problem or very common scenario we face in our day-to-day work. So a pretty good one. Now we are gonna move to the third problem. The third problem is, just give it a minute. Yeah, coming soon. So this block we need, but the requirement is, when there is no content, this kind of a block container should come. Now you must be thinking that what we can do is, we can just create it, put a class there for this kind of styling. Again, the same thing, we don't want that. We want that if the dynamic content is coming from our backend or CMS, this should go away. If there is no content and our container is blank, then this message should come. How we are going to do that? Interesting problem, to be honest. So what we are going to do is, we are going to look into our code, what is happening. So we have div, within div we have content. Okay, we have blank divs also. So what we want is, when they are blank, we want that coming soon message. If there is any element, we don't want that element to that message to come. And for that, we are again gonna use the has selector, and this is gonna be a very useful one. So let's go back to our style and let's go to, yeah, here, this is the div. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna say that in main, if I have direct child div, what I want it to do is, I want it to select all its children. Okay, this is what I want. I will just delete it, or just give me a minute. Yeah, in main, when I have div as a direct child, I want within that div all the children which are coming, I need to select all this. This star is the universal selector which will select everything. But the use case what we have is that if there are no children, so again there is no. So for that, we are gonna wrap it into bracket and we are gonna use a new selector not. Okay, I will keep it like this. Godly. This not is just doing the opposite. Here we are selecting it and we are saying if this is not available. So what we want to do? What we want to do is we want it to put a message there. So for that we are going to use before and we are going to use coming soon. Let's go back here and you can see this is happening. Coming soon is coming. So this is how you can use has to select all the children, and then we are saying if there are no children then show this message. And now all we need to do is just style this. That's it. We need to just style this. So what we are going to do is we are going to just put color and we can I will put it as a flex. The reason is I want to center line my text. And the height is not there, so I will just pass the height. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm passing it everything on before. It should not be on before, it should be on div. So what I can do is I can just pick all this from here, put it here, yep. So now you can see this is working. The alignment is not, oh it is, sorry, this is the wrong property I have implemented. Display flex, typo, and you can see this is working. Okay, so this is how you can use the has selector to do this. Now the last part I wanted to show you is where you want to select the previous element. So far in CSS we can only go move forward where we can select the next element, but has also provide you the ability to select the previous one. So how we can do this? So what I'm gonna do is I want to select the previous of a bunch of curious monkey, which is this one. So I want the, let's look in our code. So we have h4. I wanted to select the previous of h2. So how we are gonna do it? Let's go here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say has plus, and I'm gonna say that the previous element of h4 should have color red. Okay, and you can see this is working. So now we can select the previous one, and this is how you can do it. So I showed you 4 ways of using the has selector. You can use it in the combination of is also. You can use with is, has, not. I showed you already example of not. We are gonna cover this not in upcoming videos. Okay, so this is how you can use has. Now let's talk about the browser support. It is supported in most of the browsers, modern browser. However, on Firefox it is behind the feature flag. Hopefully soon they will be releasing it full-fledged. If you are working on a project where you are supporting Firefox, then do not use this property as of now. If you are gonna use this property, then think about the fallback also. I would say that go back and play with this property, as this is gonna help you a lot in handling such tricky situation. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you.